Page 2, I'm but a stranger here. 4/4 time, key is C major. No sharps or flats except for accidentals all over the place. Look out. Right hand. The melody is the top note in the right hand. Just quarter notes and half notes and whole notes. Hopefully the rhythm is not a problem. If the rhythm is a problem for you, then I encourage you to go back to book 1 and go through it again, because this rhythm should not be a problem. Watch the fingering here. You're starting out with 1/4. They're saving the 5th finger for that half note in the second measure. We want to connect, we want to feel the melody. So to do that, we finger the melody as legato as we can. And the bottom note does the best it can, and the thumb keeps the thumb busy, gives it something to do. You know, so it's 1/4 at the beginning. The second line, second measure, you got to go up. It's between a phrase, so just lift up and move. Last measure of the second line is 1/3. Again, it's the melody. We want that. Now for this third line, this is a bit awkward. We can't always finger the melody legato. We try to, and here we can't. We're using a 3/5, and then we're going to use a 1/5. So you're going to come down. We're going to have to rely on the pedal to connect it. So it's here. But then for the second one, I recommend a 1/4. And for the next measure, a 1/3. So we can connect those. Next measure, 1/4. Top of page 3 is a 1/5. So we have 2 D's there. And we're just 4/5. From the last beat on page 2 to the first beat on page 3, you have 2 D's, and it's a 4/5. So it's here. That's fine. Now lift up and move up. I recommend a 1/4 for the G-E, and then a 1/3, and then a 1/5. If your hand's big enough. If not, use their fingering. Then lift up for the next line, 1, 2, and then your 2/4 here at the end of the first measure, then it's 3/5. That's fingering is fine, but for the half note in the last measure, the second line, I recommend a 1, 2, 4, because I need the 5th finger for the D. Helps out a little bit. And then for the last 2 measures at the bottom is E flat, A flat, C, and then a regular C chord. And that's the the right hand. Left, right, whatever. The left hand just is supporting. Left hand has to stay soft. It's a broken chords. It's a 1 chord and a 5/7 chord. Those last 2 measures of the first line, both of those are 5/7 chord, because all of those notes together make up the chord. There's 4 notes in a 5/7 chord. We just don't use them all the time. So sometimes we use the B and sometimes we use the D, and this is an example of that. Go down to the bottom of page 2. Watch out here. F sharp, and then bring the thumb down. And it is a 4 on that B. Because all those notes together make up that chord, and that's the fingering, so that's what we use. And then you lift up and go on. And I'm just transferring weight from finger to finger here. I'm just rolling back and forth on these. Page 3, second line, you're here. That C sharp at the beginning of the measure applies for the whole measure, so both of those are C sharps. Last measure, bring your thumb down for the G. 3, 4. And then the last line, bring your thumb down for the C. And it's a 4 on the E. Then for the last 2 measures, it should be a 5 and a 4 on the C if you can do it, because all these notes together make up this chord, and that's the fingering. So, and then a 3-1. You don't have to. You can do a 4-1 because you got to move the hand anyway. So whichever is more convenient. I've been using 4 on the C, so I just use a 4-1 and then come down. Yeah. And those accidentals in that next to the last measure, those are good for the whole measure. So all of those, you're in this chord for the whole thing. Now, first and second endings at the bottom of page 3, so that means you're going to go back and play. You do the first ending and repeat to the beginning and do the, you know how that works. If you're going to sing all the verses, then you have to keep taking the first ending for each repeat, for each verse. And then when you're done, on the last verse you're going to sing, then you take the second ending and finish it. The fermata at the end, in the left hand, the half note, I'm going to hold that 4 counts instead of 2 when I play with a metronome. Let's go back and talk about the dynamics a little bit. At the beginning, this is soft. That's the melody. You have to decide how soft you want that to be. And then once you decide how soft you want that to be, you make everything else under that. When you're playing 2 notes, if you can bring out the top note, just put a little more weight on that finger rather than here. It's more like here. It takes a little practice, but if you keep working at it, it does come. And then in the second line, the last 2 measures, you're going to crescendo up. It doesn't tell you how far. I don't recommend you go out more than maybe a medium loud, if that. Just a little bit louder. The G up there is where you're headed, so each one of these up louder here, and then the next line you're here, and then you can come back down, dive back down. So try and do that if you can. On page 3 in the second line, now we're going to crescendo up to a loud here, because you're soft at the beginning. For the second measure, you're loud. So if I'm soft here, then I'm going to be medium soft here, and then for the last beat, I'm medium loud, and then loud. And then there's a retardando there. You're going to slow down a little bit, and then here. Now there's no alt tempo. So once you slow down, you keep that speed. And then at the bottom of page 3, in the first measure, there's a decrescendo. You come back down because you're loud. You've been loud. So with each note in this left hand, you're getting a little softer. So if you do the second ending, when you get there, you're loud to start with. And there's another retard there. Slow down some more. And then decrescendo, get softer, like so. So you work all that out and get it working, and you can hear the notes, and everything's working fine, and the dynamics is there, and your phrasing is there for you. There's no phrasing in the left hand. The left hand is just legato as best you can. It's the right hand that lifts up between the phrases. Then you can add the pedal. We do the pedal last. Now again, they're keeping the pedal simple for you. They're pretty much pedaling everything. Well, let's take a look. I'd like to hear some phrasing, and the way they're pedaling it, that's going to cover that all up. So let's take a look at the pedaling. Now at the beginning, it's just regular overlap pedaling or legato pedaling. I'm going to play the notes, and then the pedal does its thing. So the pedal lags behind the hand. So it's here. Change it to measure again. Now here at the end of the second measure, if I want to hear the phrasing, I have to lift up the pedal when I play the F here, so I can hear the silence in the right hand. There's no silence in the left because it's legato, but there is, so the pedal's got to come up. So in the second measure, it's here. Basically, I'm going to lift the pedal up with the right hand, because I'm going to lift the right hand up for the phrase. I'm going to lift the pedal up with it. So it's this way. Same thing here. Lift it up with the right hand. Again, at the end of the line, lift it up with the right hand. Now at the bottom of page 2 in the second measure here, I recommend changing the pedal at the half note so we lose most of that sound, because we want to die away here. There. And this way you've only got 3 notes sounding rather than all of those notes sounding. So just change the pedal at the half note and then lift the pedal up with the hand so we get some silence between the phrase. Again, between each of these phrases, I'm lifting the pedal up with the right hand. Second line of page 3 in the second measure, what's this pedaling? Because they're pedaling a lot more here. It's here. Change, 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 change. And again, at the bottom of page 3 in the first measure there at the last line, I'm going to change the pedal with the half note in the left hand. I want to lose all that sound. So we're there. It helps it to die away more. And that's that pedaling. Then for the last 2 measures, it's like it is pretty much almost. And then change it here. Now here, I'm not going to change it at the bottom. I'm going to leave it there and just let all that sound die away. And that's the pedaling. So let's try this together really, really, really slowly to double check the notes. I don't think the rhythm's a problem. I'm going to pedal it like I described. So, and we are going to take the first and second endings both. We're going to repeat. So I'll give you 4 counts, so let's play this together. I'm not going to do the dynamics. I'm just going to do the notes and the rhythms and the pedal. So go ahead and put your hands where they go. Foot's on the pedal. 1, 2, ready and go. And 1.